it doesn't really translate into a team advantage, a strategic advantage, and that's where you need to win the game, because you can put worse players into better positions with sound and solid strategy.
Yeah, it's all about teamwork, team play, teamwork OP, remember that. And we do have some bands, actually a lot of bands coming out. So Trundle,
I hear the music is
Azir,
like, oh,
Vlad is like, oh yes, champion select. So Vlad going to be banned out actually by Nerv on the blue side here. So Irelia, Swain, and Aurelion Sol also banned up against Nerv, same as last champion select actually.
Wicked eating 2 target bans here, but the Rise is hoping, which is a flex for mid-top. He locks it in early. Again, early karma pick here for Hiva, and a tank jungler for Taiki. I like that. I'm really big fan of Rek'Sai in the current meta game, because I really think you need some tankiness or engage on your jungle. I'm actually a bigger fan of the Gragas jungle, so I'm really liking, I think, the foundations of both these drafts.
You like everything. Everything in this draft is perfect. Apart from the Sivir. Apart from the Sivir, everyone's fantastic. Rise actually first pick out from Nerv, so we'll see who actually picks that up, whether it's Wicked or Caps. I think we've seen it from both of those players, but more likely to be in the mid lane, I would assume for now. Syndra lock-in.
New Syndra lock-in here.
We were talking about that earlier.
Oh, such a rough matchup for Rise. Maybe that's exactly why 4G left it open, because Rise, one of his weaknesses again is range. So if you have a range disadvantage, guess what? Syndra has that advantage, and being telegraphed. Rise farming is very telegraphed, so he walks into these orbs and these spheres very easily from Eika, and then Eika can follow up. Rek'Sai plus Syndra have a very nasty combo. However, insufficient vision. Guess what? Gragas and Rise can do the exact same thing. So we need to see Taiki at least hover around this mid lane if that's going to be the Rise mid.
Yeah, so if you're Nerv here, do you just send the Rise top lane to avoid that matchup, or is it not enough to warrant that?
Rise top just doesn't sound that great to me anymore, and I think he suffers some of the same issues if a Rek'Sai can tunnel behind. But it might be the slightly preferential outcome. It depends. If Caps has a good counter pick to Syndra, then he can be like, you know what, I'm actually going to win lane hard enough, then maybe. But I'm not quite sure. I doubt it.
No, with Maokai being locked in, Wicked will be taking that one once again in this game. So it will be the Rise going into the mid lane, and then Braum for the bottom lane actually with Sivir. So yeah, a lot more kind of death ball-y in this composition.
Oh, incredibly death ball-y. They have an answer to potential poke here. The Braum really good as well, because he can just block the spheres from flying, can block Syndra ultimate, and force it to retarget upon himself. Again, a very short range composition here from Nerv, but no direct counters here, no big range, you know, sent from afar spells here from Team Forge, so it should be a lot easier for them to read how they should approach fights. But it's looking like a full-on brawl here. No 1-3-1 shenanigans or anything. It's looking just like, yeah, good old-fashioned team fights. Good old-fashioned
team fights. That's what I'm excited to see. Hovering over the Alistar. We'll see if that actually gets logged in, because we've already had the Syndra and the Karma, so very unlikely we'll see Alistar. But Hiva really liked that Alistar a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to be locking in the Poppy as final pick. We didn't even mention the Draven. Gap rather has been picking it up so much over the last couple of weeks.
Draven's a good matchup into Sivir, because Spell Shield does almost nothing versus him, and he just packs such a big punch that Sivir can't trade. The only way for Sivir to beat Draven in lane is to get a push going, force him on the tower, and then obviously poke him with boomerangs whenever he goes for CS. You can predict where his axes are flying. Braum works as a counter defensively, because you can block the axes from flying, but you yield the lane dominance if you play against the range support. So Draven Karma should just continuously push in Sivir Braum, and the only way to break that matchup is to get a gank from Gragas.
Let's see if that does play into this game. Poppy going into the top lane as well for Mimic, so see how much he can do against Wicked. And yeah, so overall, Team Forge drafting more of a closer range composition compared to like the pure poke that they had last time around. So maybe Nerv can get into these fights. I think it'll be a little easier, because they were looking engage from the front door, but because they were so far back, there was nothing they could really do. Maybe this time it'll kind of work out, but if they kind of go with that mindset into this game, they're probably going to lose anyway. I don't feel like that's the optimal way to play the game.
Definitely not. I think we just need to look at the junglers here. Both Memento and Taiki need to have a performance that carries the game, because they have such an opportunity for having a large impact in this game. Any lane Gragas visits can potentially result into kills. Any lane that Taiki on the Rek'Sai visits can just snowball. A counter gank in bottom lane, for example, can be, you know, destructive for upsets as Sir Nuxal's gameplay. So definitely need to track these junglers if it's standard lanes.
Well, as the action continues to unfold here on Challenger, make sure you capture some of those insane plays that happen here by tweeting at us with the hashtag #ChallengerBigPlays, and then you could see your tweet make the broadcast. We've actually seen some really good plays. I remember last week we had a Swain that just wouldn't die, just walked into 4 people and killed all of them. So hopefully we'll see more of that.
Great plays.
Great plays on the day. So see if we've got any more of those, but make sure to tweet at us with those. And yeah, we should be getting into game very shortly. But
yeah, we're waiting for a bit of a delay.
Yep.
There was a minor issue in Champ Select where one of the players had to reconnect to the game lobby, so Champion Select was just a little bit slower, but we're waiting to factor that in and hopefully get some quality gameplay soon.
Quality gameplay. What do we want to see this game from Nerv? Because last time it was kind of solo QE, it was like not making decisions very fast. So with that in mind, knowing that you're not always going to be able to make snap decisions, how do you play around that?
I want to see Wicked flank. Both Syndra and Draven are very susceptible to flanks. Yes, you can flash in and go for a flash W, but like any decent player worth their salt will respect you. So Wicked needs to flank, and I also want to see Sir Nuxlot go for like the bodyguard dive in front of somebody else to catch a bullet, you know, with the brown shield and block all of Eika's damage on that Syndra.
Well, that's the plan. Once again, jump on Twitter, use the hashtags NRVWin or 4G-win if you think it's going to take this one home, whether Nerv will actually pick up 1 win. Because they're still on 0 points, by the way, so they do want 1 win. At least that will net them 1 point this week. But looking very likely to be a 2-0 again for Forge, as they are at the top of the table.
As we say in Belgium, don't sell the hide of the bear before you shot it. Do you say that? Is that in English?
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
No, we don't have that in England, but kind of get it. Mostly don't.
Is there an equivalent English saying?
Probably, but I'm not well versed enough to instantly pick that one out of my head. I'm sure someone's going to tweet at me and tell me exactly what it is.
I can't believe you didn't know that.
You didn't know this obscure phrase.
You
that
call yourself
says.
British and you don't know that?
British? Yeah, unfortunately not.
Go dip your crumpets in tea, in shame.
And crumpets, yeah. Vedis is actually really good for those phrases, so maybe he'll inform me. I didn't even realize that's the badger was a phrase until he informed me, so he is the man to talk to. Back into this mid lane. Ica on Syndra. I really want to see this one because he's been playing a lot in solo queue. He tried it in LCS because apparently he wasn't being allowed to play that pick for a while, then picked it up, and then didn't do very well in that game. So let's see if he does better in Challenger. Kind of doing this weird wobbly thing right now in the mid lane.
Yeah, she has a really good level 2 spike for power in lane. If you land everything, she's just susceptible to ganks. E-flash from Gragas into snare follow-up can be, pretty bad.
Dead Syndra. Does have the flash and ignite this game. And Cap's running the teleport. And we'll be getting into the start of this.
So yeah, flash versus teleport, or ignite versus teleport is always, you have to be careful. If you go aggressive but you never kill your opponent, you're actually giving him an advantage because he will get a better base timing. And obviously he will come back and out-sustain you that way and then push you in and make you EUCS. So that's why actually teleport makes some matchups very passive despite, you know, having the feeling, no, ignite always wins in the pressure because it's twofold, you know, you need to beat your opponent twice. Phase 1 of the boss fight and then phase 2 once he comes back with teleport. An answer can be obviously to push him in continuously, make him take unfavorable trades, kind of sphere for 0, and then equal it out that way with the looming threat of an ignite. Make a level 2 here.
Try to get the punish down.
WQ. No E yet, so he can't shove the sphere forward for a stun.
He was invading onto Wicked, getting a lot of damage down. Nuxlot is doing the same onto Mimic though. And Taiki should be able to take away these wards. But Nuxlot is just going to be annoying. And will push Taiki away into the top side of his jungle. So
yeah, but look at where Taiki started. He started at the bottom side of the map in his lane. So many camps still left available to him. But these challenger teams seem to be pushing on 3rd wave. So LCS lane swaps have almost exclusively gone down to 2nd wave pushes. And both these teams, due to the extended start here, are pushing on 3rd wave. So a slower lane swap. The tower falls quicker in absolute seconds because you have more minions hitting it. But it develops a little slower.
So I should be seeing both these go down at approximately the same time. Mid lane, lots of poke coming out from Ica, but not a lot of it is actually connecting onto Caps. In fact, Caps is sidestepping most of the harassers coming out from Ica, and he's traded a lot of his mana pool for it.
Yeah, look how he approaches like every minion almost twice. Basically, Ica's always looking to sync up a sphere landing on Caps once he moves up for a CS. Obviously, Caps knows that, so he's kind of faking it out sometimes. Ica being a lot more passive here in his approach. Good hit right there. That's what he wants to keep doing and then get his jungler involved in the fold.
And there you can see just the towers going down. Lane swap actually initiated by Forge in this one.
They needed to.
Yeah.
They probably they didn't need to. They were rather just matching, I think, predicting a lane swap from Nerv themselves.
Trying to go Australia.
Had the fail predict.
Yeah, because honestly, Draven and Karma should do fine.
Oh, they beat Sivir Braum single-handedly. Just too hard. There's not enough shields for Braum, nor HP to block all the damage here, and the push is just too much. You just continuously get shoved into your tower.
I actually really like just watching Caps is very interesting to me. Just the way he fakes out some of these minions as he walks up to them. Because Ica, every single time he thinks that Caps is going to get locked into an auto-attack animation, he'll throw down a Q, but is missing a lot of these. So honestly, Caps is having a very good laning phase. He hasn't even dropped many CS as well. It's not like he's faking out and just missing the CS. He's picking them up most of the time, so he's only down like 1.
Definitely staying pretty even here. If he gets all the CS, he's actually bang on even in the Syndra Ryze matchup, which is honestly impressive, given that Ica's also had the ability to push. It's much easier to CS when you're slightly pushing. If you're pushing too hard, obviously there's too many minions hitting on a single target. But right now, Caps is forced to lost it under tower while still trying to dodge some of these spheres. And Nerv going for a move. They did it in last game, seemingly, but this time is just phase 2 of the lane swap. Mimic sticks around. No aggressive dash from Nukestuck. Sir Nukestuck.
Nukestuck.
I don't see Nukes. And I just want to finish Nukeduck.
Yeah, that would be very confusing to me in my brain if they went up against each other. Ooh, Caps. Taking actually a good bit of poke there from Ica. Has to be careful as Ica heads towards level 6. It's about halfway there. The
breaking point is when you're halfway to 6, this guy's going to be very close to 6 because he's always pushing in first. If you forget that, then Ica's just going to blow you up. Flash QE, Ignite.
And now he's starting to land a lot.
Oh, he's out of mana. So that's good. Cap sustained well enough. Still has a potion available here.
And it's going to be reaching it very soon. Should be on the next wave here at level 6. But yeah, you're right. He's out of mana right now. And Caps really isn't in kill range with that amount of mana to Syndra. And again, we're just seeing actually Nerv taking this top tower of 4 people while there's nothing in the bot lane because Gap was just last hitting these minions.
Yeah, I wonder what 4G is doing here in their approach. No tower being sieged on, stacking a wave way too large. They got kind of surprised by Wicked accelerating the tempo of this lane swap by teleporting top. Really good block by Ica. Here he's going all in.
Oh, and there's the ultimate and the ignite. Great combo. First blood to Ica.
And this is exactly what we were talking about. Caps just disrespected this entire matchup. I believe his potion was even still ticking. Right now, we have cross-map Infernal here.
Oh.
That was close.
Yeah, very last second.
Close with Graves.
Close. Close. Yeah, wasn't quite there. Apparently Graves vapes now. That's what I heard. That's the official lore. It is canon.
Allegedly.
4G. We're going to take this first Infernal Dragon so they do get something off it. And 6 minutes in, and we see the tower trade up for that dragon. And big mini wave in the bottom lane. I'm not really sure Gap can turn that into a tower push though because Brom's already down there with Sivir. So he'll just get the last of these minions.
Inefficient stacking of waves is going to be a thank you present from Upset. The only way this play works out if we see a teleport dive. So we kind of need to see Ica push out here and roam to the bottom lane and zone off these guys, but look at all the free CS that Upset is getting here, and this is honestly a big strategical mistake on the side of Forge, just donating too much farm, not equalizing the tower. Yes, they get an Infernal. If it wasn't for Ica's play here, so despite Ica having first spot, you know, they're still down 200 gold.
And Ica also built up a pretty good CS advantage with that play. It's maxing Q right now. We did have changes, of course, in the Mage Update 6.9, so some changes in what they max nowadays. Memento backing away. Good ward there by Taiki, also popping the Razor Sharp buff from Memento. That's the most frustrating thing as a jungler, when you can't go near it and you instantly just pop it with a ward going down, so nice out there. Double Crystal start coming out from Mimic into the top lane. Don't see that all that often. And is slightly behind in farm up against Wicked, but now we do have all the lanes just kind of returning to normal. Yeah,
they lost out on both ends of the lane swap. You almost have to try to achieve that. If you Forge, all of their kind of lost power went into that Infernal Dragon, so they really make it pay off. See if they can keep in the game here. Wicked needs a good start in a lot of his games right now. 10 CS up, comfortable position here, good wave control.
Caps flash, Rune Prison onto Ica, rest of the team is coming in, lots of lockdown, Hiva and Taiki gonna try and protect him, he actually lasted way longer, great ultimate onto Hiva, he's gonna be backing away, Boomerang comes in, flash by upset, second tower shot lands, not quite enough to return the kill, that is 2 pickups for Nerv.
Yeah, we need to see how that exactly came to be. How did Nerv end up with 4 people in the mid lane unnoticed to the point where Ica died despite still using his flash? One of the indicators for this is obviously the very slow approach to minion wave clear that his Draven from Gap is having this game. Has been taking his merry sweet time clearing out his minion waves on the side lanes, obviously creating a numbers advantage. So let's see there. Yeah, just Aka playing to the wrong side here. He's playing to a side that's pink warded. He needs to be playing on the right side of mid lane here instead of the left one. And then this play can get entirely turned around. Hiva tries to help too. Honestly, misses not being called. Yeah, this is very, very sloppy play here. Major mistake from Ica to play this far up on the wrong side of mid lane.
And that's going to get the advantage over to Nerv now in terms of gold. Not only did they have the tower, but those 2 kills and a lot of assists going over as well. And Caps, even though he dropped that kill earlier with those 2 assists, has now got his core item build. So he's got the Catalyst, he's got the tier, and is now farming up. Taiki is he's trying to do something in the mid lane.
Yeah, he's lurking. They won't shut down Caps here. Just his flash is still down, and the flash is still up on Rek'Sai, so only use the tunnel flash knock up.
Yeah, but
he's looking for.
Ruined under the tower. Taiki's going to take a lot of damage. Caps even pops a desperate power, and he's still chasing down Taiki. He's got all these spells coming out. I'm not even sure he's going to be able to get away. Void Rush gets cancelled. Ica in the mid lane looking to pick up the kill himself, but again he's caught out, and Hiva doesn't have the shielding to protect him. Yeah,
telegraph play, but they saw him move in here. Look at the wealth of wards on the left side of mid lane. They saw Taiki move in, and then they lurked in the shadows here. Nuxalot was ready on the right side of mid to react to that play, immediately jumped in and was ready to block any damage from Ica, and at that point the play was lost. And it was scrambling for their life if you are if you are Forge rather. And they couldn't make it out. Nuxalot did a fantastic job. Just watch this again. So this is, Taiki had already moved in. These wards kind of got placed later, so they probably must have sensed this play coming, or were just looking for a proactive play in the mid lane themselves. But they knew he was there. And they were ready for the play. Good heal here to counteract the ignite, and then Ica is just, yeah, without his flash too far up. And again, Draven stuck in the bottom lane, freezing this lane, slowly pushing it out. It's just, it's too slow. Forge is not putting any proactive moves on the map. They can't play aggressive in mid if they're still fixing their side lane on the bottom lane, because right now Nerv actually have the flow of the game down on their side of things, and they're making good use of it.
I mean, all Gap's been doing this game is farming. That's literally all he's done. He's getting towards 300 stacks, but those are nothing unless you cash them in. Plus 20 minion advantage, but he's losing so much across the map as the team just kind of get collapsed on over and over and over again.
Yeah, and that's a story. It tells the entire story here on the scoreboard. 0-0-0 on the Draven versus 1-0-2 on Sivir, all on kills that originate in the mid lane here. So Upset is just pushing out the wave and moving his character over to the middle lane. Right now we're looking for a classic lane gank Sivir adaptation here. Both top lane and jungle looking to rush out. The biggest fan of these plays. I think they're too forced.
A little bit different, or a little bit different. Both. Difficult and different.
Difficult and different.
But Nerv not going to be able to execute it. Memento.
It's too many eggs in one basket, and if you get spotted out, the cost of failure of your play is just too high. Because you just give cross map on 2 lanes. Mid gets to play for free, enemy jungle gets to play for free. Like right now, Taiki could be taking away Krugs and, not Krugs, Gromp and Wolves here, and then we see forced teleport play here onto Hiva.
Instantly stand aside. Gap is getting locked down here. Flash by a Wicked. Locking down. The Gap will be taken now. Hiva now being dived on the tower. He's only level 4, and most of these members are level 8 and 10. He's also going to drop.
Yeah, they're dropping, and they saw all these members on wards that they cleared, and that they saw them move into the river area, which then they can just extrapolate that they must have moved into the wolves, and they still found themselves overextended here. So spatial awareness is non-existent on the side of Forge, and now they are the team that's forced to react.
Yeah, complete opposites from game 1. That tower took a bit of punishment there, but Nerv is building a pretty good advantage for themselves in this early game. Lots of those members starting to hit those one-item power spikes, mid lane, top lane, jungle. Let's take a look at the start of that play once again.
I mean, they cleared the vision here, so they cleared the pink ward, and then Gragas looped around here. Memento found his way in. Kind of false sense of security on that pink ward. We see second dragon here started by Forge. They got the first Infernal on the play that got them behind on the map. Wicked's pushing out top lane with no teleport. So if this comes to a fight, it will be a 4v5. That's exactly why...
Ah, great keeper's verdict.
Yeah.
Completely pop blocked there.
Pop blocks. That's exactly why Nerv was not approaching that as a fight. They were just looking for a steal over the wall because Wicked was stuck in top lane. But he's not freezing this time. Love it. He's going for the instant shove. And again, now Wicked pushes out in the top lane. He can move wherever he wants. He can help mid lane, put in pressure, and then eventually maybe can translate it into bot lane. And every time they do that, they can weave in wards in the enemy jungle with EUCS if they choose to. Let's see if we can track some of the pings that they're placing as Nerv is identifying their next objective.
So as you take a look at what the next dragon's going to be, it's going to be Mountain. So it's been Sunny Skies so far, but we'll be getting that one. There you can see on screen. I'm not lying to you.
We saw, Pulse is not a pathological liar. We saw the pings go out on Riftel, enemy red buff, both top and mid pushed in, collapse on the objective. Very easy pickings here on the side of Nerv, and that's exactly what you want to do with lane priority. It's no longer about pushing lane and then fighting your opponent. Just push in, get something in between, whether it's vision, whether it's an objective. Nerv sticking to a plan right now.
Get something down. Memento has had a pretty good influence on this game. Actually, so has Caps. 5 out of those 6 kills. A lot of it happened around mid lane, to be fair. So Caps has just kind of been there. But has picked up that Rod of Ages now and is in a much better position now than he was in the laning phase up against Ica.
And it just stops his snowball too. Look at Ica. He was getting so far ahead, but then he spikes somewhere on Omicron and he has to go into Merc threads. Suddenly that damage just falls off. A slightly tanky Rise will survive your combo. Spell Shield on Sivir and EpicSkillshot with the shield. It's going to be very hard for Ica to find one-shot potential.
Yep, as we were saying, teamwork OP. You can get that small advantage in the mid lane, but if you outplay them in terms of team fights and team rotations, then GG. Still got the advantage. Taiki coming down here. He's going to see Upset recalling and going to stop the recall, but Concussive Blows, we'll get the tunnel in time, so he's good. But there's no objective down there for a while, only 15 minutes into this game. Taking a look at some of the item builds. Gap going for the Ghostblade build, so kind of common on Draven right now. Upset, of course, going for the Essence Reaver. Yeah,
Memento's playing a Snowball in Gragas here. Such a fun champion to play if you get ahead, because you always have the threat of a Bug-Slam Flash, but you can at least engage without it too. Right now, Taiki is just going to take too much damage if he goes in for any tunnel engages, so he really needs to just flash Unburrow on a target and unleash.
Try and get the damage down. Taiki, I know he was just like...
He's taking the loop around.
Yeah.
He must really enjoy taking those tunnels.
He really enjoyed slides as a kid, so now he plays Rek'Sai and just goes through the tunnels all day.
It's like, my parents never bought me Ultra Slide.
Yep, so instead, this is what I do
pro
now.
gamer. I play Rek'Sai. Did you have a slide as a kid, Pulse?
No, I didn't. I did go to parks though. Slides are dope, but Taiki...
Get that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, slides are dope.
Slides are dope, kids.
Pulse 2016, there we go. Ica, he's lying in wait, but that's an interesting bush to lie in wait, because I'm not sure anyone's going to pass through there. He goes back into the mid lane now, and we'll clear out the rest of his minion wave. It's fine for now, and we'll carry on farming. So how are we doing in terms of this game? So Nerv held a pretty good gold advantage for like the last 10 minutes, I feel. Like it's been around 3,000 gold, but that hasn't opened up, so proportionally they haven't been getting further and further ahead.
I mean, they still have a scaling composition. They have a late game Sivir. They have a Rise that outscales enemy AD carry super hard. Late game Draven also doesn't scale that well versus an Exhaust and a Braum Shield unless he gets ahead. He really needs to be able to finish somebody in like 3-4 axis.
Yep.
Unless...
It's true, actually.
That's true. Then he really has an issue with scaling. I was also going for the Ghostblade build here from behind. Just not as potent. It's all about Snowball if you're playing Draven.
Also sucks because he had the death, so it cut his stacks in half as well, which really sucks as a Draven player. So, not in a great place right now.
Dying generally sucks.
Dying generally sucks, but it sucks more for Draven.
You lose half your pension fund.
Yeah.
That you get upon slaughtering enemies.
It's not bad. It does seem like the Noxian way, though. The Noxian way.
Yep.
Yeah. But
paying
yeah.
the iron price.
Paying the iron price. But currently, no one's paying it apart from Gap. Yeah, he's not having a great time. And when you're up against something like a Maokai, whose first item was the Sunfire Cape, like Gap is not even going to be able to trunk through that.
Yeah, I like this a lot more from Wicked. Second Maokai, different build here. Not going for Rod of Ages shenanigans. Just build up pure tank. Get the Sunfire to push out the wave. We don't need more damage on this Maokai. We just need pure tankiness. Yep.
Pushing down the mid lane, and Ica is not really landing any poke onto Cap, so he's not able to get any of that burst down onto anyone. There you can see just pushing forwards, but it feels like very reminiscent of Game 1 actually, where it was swapped around, where 4G were the one who were pushing up the mid lane and Nerv had to sit underneath the tower.
Now tables are definitely turned. Looking at Nerv here, getting some deep vision down in between mid and bot lane, securing the rotation. They miss the ward on the sweep here, so that could technically be a TP ward for Mimic's Poppy. But again, top lane, then mid lane tower gets isolated. Mimic's still dealing with bot lane. Good defensive shield for Nuxalot. They're going in.
Ike ping-pongs around in this fight. Taiki taking a bit of heat, but Gap is here once again to try and get something done. But he's already low, and Team Forge are just not even able to remotely catch up to Nerv.
Yeah, they're late to the party. They saw a bit of a play and tried to overchase it, but they leave their top lane in a really bad spot. They're going to lose a lot of farm there. Maybe start contesting the next dragon, which is going to spawn in 25.
There's a Sivir ult. Just to disengage, I think. Caps is kind of separated from the team. Good arcane smash from Wicked. And Team Forge are just unable to even get in range. Mimic's going to toss out the buckler. And Upset is fairly low on mana, but Team Forge do have temporary control over the Dragon Pit, as the Earth Dragon will spawn. And I feel like Nerv are just going to walk back and just take it, honestly.
Yeah, there's not really any semblance of poke like 4G had in game 1. No good zone control, no really big punish for them to enter these choke points right now. Nuxalot to stay alive. We have teleport coming in from Wicked here.
Wicked right into the middle of the fight, and we'll just zone him away.
It's just zoning here. Really good TP and defensive twisted advance here. Wicked not going for the prime target, instead of realizing the goal of this play is to secure the dragon and get the hell out of dodge. Could have had a maybe safer teleport. That's the only thing you could argue for. But Nerv finally playing a calmer, safer approach to the game, and it's definitely paying off.
Push now coming in from Forge to see if they can get a punish off some of the recalls actually coming out from Nerv. Two players went back, Upset and Caps, but Minion Wave's dead. There's nothing that Forge can do right here. And I feel like, yes, Nerv are playing better, but Team Forge made like literally 3 big mistakes in the early game when they lost 2 kills, 2 kills, 2 kills.
Yeah, major mistakes that snowballed down, and kind of the crux of their draft is that Syndra lane. If it snowballs, you win. If it gets behind, you're just playing a 2-threat composition where both of them are low mobility, single target, and you have a tank Poppy in the top lane. You just simply run out of damage. Right now, the base damages of all these tanks is enough to trade their lives versus any of the carries. And Nerf's carries can sit comfortably in the backline. Rise is, yeah, artillery that keeps going, keeps giving in the fight, as opposed to like a one-shot wonder from Aka. And then you have Upset with a wealth of AoE.
Like that. Rise, the gift that keeps on giving in the mid lane. But if you're 4G right now and you have 2 lanes that are reliant on Snowball, Draven holding that fort for a second as Upset is going deep onto Mimi, but may have overextended as Taiki arrives. Upset, look how fast he is! He's making his way out, and now Memento's coming into the top lane. Oh, this is turned around. Taiki doesn't quite get slammed. Oh, everything's gonna miss. This is a bit weird. Taiki, he's gonna take the slide to safety. Now he's gonna burrow away and take another slide.
Play here, just Memento refusing to use his body slam flash.
Run
on that
Forest.
play, then just missing his ulti. I mean, Taiki's gonna drop eventually, but this is just a lot more inefficient. But maybe there's hope. Taiki,
Upset.
can he do it? The answer is no, but we'll still act as if he can.
I wanted them trying to get in range of tower and maybe get the execute, but eventually Sivir's gonna catch you, unfortunately.
Yeah, look, Maokai looking for some zone here on this Draven. Draven has a safe path all the way around. Vision denial on this Baron, and just instantly being started.
Well, of course that's going to alert Team Forge, but they've already lost the jungler, so there's no smite steal attempt. And Heaver, it's up to you, buddy. You're going to have to poke, and you barely broke Cap's shield. Ica over the wall, he's going to try and put a bit of damage down. Sphere comes out, but smite away by Memento. Verdict is actually going to save Gragas. Mimic's going to chase down Wicked, but he's by himself. Just have the shield out from the buckler, so he's fine for now, but easy Baron take.
I mean, that was the only way for 4G to steal this, is knock the jungler out of the park and then have Aika come in with the damage. Sadly, just a fraction of a second, or a fraction of a couple of seconds too late.
Yeah, a lot of fractions. Fractions. Not a strong point here on the caster desk, but 7-1 currently. Nerv with the Baron.
I mean, we never
big advantage.
It's a fraction of a second. We never specified how large the denominator was.
Denominator, yeah.
I mean, or how small it was. I mean, if it's like a 2.
Yeah.
It was half a second.
Exactly. It could have been an uneven fraction. You never know.
Maybe it was 0.5 and it was actually 2 seconds.
Exactly.
A 0.5 fraction of a second too late. So the Poppy ulti sadly came in 2 seconds after the Baron was died.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
So what we learn here is to specify your fractions.
Yes.
And pivot your tables.
Well, actually, no. You want to be vague, actually, when we make those statements. So we're always right. Yeah.
In a sense of accuracy.
Oh, yeah. That's
definitely
true.
Specify your fractions and refresh your pivot tables.
There
That's what Spellsy would say.
That is what Spelzy would say, stats god. But whose parent would say they're not learning anything on the Challenger broadcast? Upset? Oh, he's fine. Usually you drop low and it's just like,
apparently,
but
Upset's parents may think that because this is the second time he's playing on a side lane all alone, trying to manage a wave. Well, there's no need for it. Sure, he doesn't die here because he's so far ahead, but both exchanges, both top and bottom here, a little bit over-eager. Definitely still playing in that vacuum.
Yeah. Memento still pushing. Honestly, with the amount these players are playing in the vacuum, they should just invest in the good Dyson, honestly. Here come Nerv pushing up the bot lane, looking for an engage here by 4G. Taiki gets a knock onto 2. Nukeslot taking the last tower shot. Fine, still not going to go down. Mimic looking for the verdict, does not land onto anyone. And Nerv will just back away and take the blue buff away.
Yeah, Gap's ultimate got completely countered here. By Sir Nukeslot's shield was just still up. He destroyed the projectile. Took a lot of damage, almost died in the process, but really good flash timing to get out of there.
Well, small victory, silver linings. Taiki did manage to pick up the blue buff, so they did secure that one. But this is really going wrong for Team Forge, and a lot of mistakes were made in the early game, but didn't quite get over the wall there.
The casual stroll through enemy jungle into top lane.
Yeah,
because we can.
Just because we can. No one can really capitalize on that right now. And Ike was low mana, so I'm not even sure he had the burst.
I wonder what Caps is doing here. I mean, what is the play? This is such a challenger play, Pulse.
Yeah, it really is.
He started at the bottom side of the map, ran all the way to the top side. While his entire team is basing, he's probably looking for a little bit more gold, and then he's going to tell his team, hey guys, I'm basing. Now Nukes a lot.
Sir Nuke's duck, he's coming in here on to Taiki. He's locked down, he's just jumping up and down. Will barely escape with the slide to victory.
I mean, they all face sex, but technically 4G could have punished them there. Luckily, 4G was trying to punish with too little ammunition. But this is definitely some of these plays that these teams need to show up.
He walked all the way back to base. Top tower goes down. Nerva just closing in. And they have played well from ahead, to be fair. 7-1, have not really given up too much. And Gap, all that farming has not resulted in much. Top tower's just going to go down. And Nerva pretty happy with this. We'll see if Forge can get in range with Heaver's speed up. Nope. No, back away and carry on farming.
Yeah, that's one hip tower down.
Yeah,
I mean, when they group, they're just too strong right now, Nerv. They need to get picked out by Forge, and even then, so many of these members are simply too tanky. It's looking incredibly grim at this point.
So, yeah, kind of disappointing, honestly, from Forge. After having such a good game one and kind of what we expected from a top of the table team versus a bottom of the table team, and then we see plays like this where Mimics is just dies, and Nova just going to take this inhibitor super easy. So, yeah, really weird. And at least this will be the first point on the board if Nerv picked this one up. Wicked jumping onto Taiki as well. Ike off by himself, completely blocked out by the Bronze Shield. Heaver, he's low himself. He's just kind of walking away, trying to stroll to victory. Caps is low, but still not dead. Gaps simply just doesn't have the damage.
Yeah, Wicked here looking for the definition of a gap closer, but can't find the Draven. Has to back off. Try another day. I think they're happy with just the inhibitor and an additional kill or two. Padding the stats. 9-1 right now, Nerv.
Yeah, in really, really good shape. All recalling in that bush. A lot of low members, but no AoE, unfortunately, and Gap didn't know where they were recalling. So, feels just like a matter of time. And we're only 26, 27 minutes into this game, and Nerv are already looking for the win here.
Yeah, but this is something you see very often when you have two compositions with similar win conditions, which is just fighting your way out. There is no elaborate 1-3-1 split push here. Both are 4-1s at best, but with super tanky members, there's not much there. Like we see, this is also such a challenger play, right? Like the fact that Mimic is pushing out the lane where people just retreated from, the fact that they can re-enter that exact same lane and go for the base here is just something you so rarely see in professional play here. 4 members walk down to Mountain Drake to try and rush it, and then they leave their base exposed. It's definitely some of the fundamentals that they need to shore up if they want to make it into the LCS, because leaving these windows of opportunity for the enemy team, it just makes it too simple.
Yeah. Well, we have challenger big plays. Make sure to use the hashtag challenger plays for plays like that when you see them during challenger. But so what was the problem really from Forge? Was it just those mistakes in the early game and drafting a composition that was so reliant on doing well there, and then there was nothing they could do from that point?
Yeah, I think the main thing was just Aika getting that solo kill and then not being used to snowball here. He got shut down later on. a couple of times here. 4 members of Nerv made their way to mid lane. Aika was playing on the wrong side of mid, nor was his team ready to back him up. We needed Gap to accelerate the lane swap here. I think the approach and the speed in which Forge did their lane swap is the start of the reaction. That initial teleport that Wicked made top was great because it accelerated the tempo of the lane swap. Mimic didn't do that. He's now stuck in the backline here with the knock-up. I don't think that's what you want to do, Mimic, but he's going to try anyways.
He didn't even knock him very far. Gap's going to come into the front lines, but Upset takes down Mimic, and Draven will flash away, leaving Taiki out to dry. Nice flash E coming in from Memento onto Ica. No real follow-up, but they don't need it right now. 2 kills, and the minion wave flooding in with the top tower coming in. Looks like Nerv are just going to come in and try and finish off the game. Super Minions are in the top lane.
Here, the top tower looking to whack away 5 versus 3, and it all started with the accelerated lanes up top. Teleport from Wicked, and suddenly Forge were 1 step behind. Despite getting a solo kill in the mid lane, it wasn't enough here. That 1 kill that Ica got, 1v1, that's all they've managed to gather here. And it looks like this is the end.
Yeah, ripple effect to the maximum in this game. Ica's going to get followed down. Upset may fall in return, but the Nexus turret is the only thing standing in the way between Nerv and the Nexus, and their first win in Challenger. They will be going 1-1 on the weekend, securing their first point on the leaderboard. Yeah, pretty much. That was a weird game. That was a really weird game. I was just expecting, honestly, something very similar to the first game, just in the way that I felt like Nerv got dismantled. The same thing just did not happen in the second game.
Yeah, but there was very little elegance to these compositions because it was pretty much just raw and yeah, bloody, just fight your way out. And both carries on the side of 4G kind of had single damage, you know. Aika on the Syndra, yes, some AoE, but she's mainly just isolating a single target. The Draven is purely a single target.
Yep.
If you have a 2-carry composition like that, you need to snowball forward. If you suddenly get behind, you just don't have enough damage, and tanks like the Gragas and the Maokai will just close the gap and finish you off and make it so much easier, especially if you have projectile denial from the Braum pick too. The lane swap just made it so worth here, and I think the fail prediction in the Australia lanes is what eventually cost Forge the early game, because not only did they fail to find the correct lanes for them, they also failed to adapt in the lane swap, and I think Nerv did a much better job here. The constant of this teleport from Wicked in phase 2 of the lane swap to accelerate the second tower just got them so much momentum that freed up multiple members that could then just group mid. Yes, there's a counterplay, which is play passive. Aika kind of forgot to do that, didn't realize which side he should play on, how aggressive he should play. He was still in the 1v1 mindset trying to snowball, and it cost them the game. Yeah,
a lot of mistakes made in that early game, but if you're Team Forge, why wouldn't you just draft something very similar to what you did in the first game? Because honestly, I saw a very similar composition actually come out from Nerv in the second game. Couldn't they just rinse and repeated?
Perhaps they just felt better as a unit strategically. They also lost some of different picks were banned out. Maybe they were more prone to counter picks. Maybe it only works if you surprise your opponent with some of these picks.
Yeah.
Definitely a wealth of options there. Maybe they surprise themselves by just getting certain picks, you know, and playing towards that. Say like, okay, we see this matchup, we really want to just play it out. We have practices and scrims, and then suddenly on stage, or not on stage, but in Challenger, it doesn't work.
Yeah, when the heat's been turned up. But we've seen that before, right, from these players when you bust out like the Draven, high kill games, and you snowball super hard. Same with the Syndra, right? It's like very different when you get from scrims and you go into professional play. But still, like, you can kind of see why it would work in Challenger when a lot of mistakes are made. People just kind of making Challenger plays, right?
Because if you look at Aika, after he gets a solo kill, he will never get 4-man collapse. He may get the 2 or 3-man collapse and then make his way out, and suddenly it's fine, because then the next kill that Taiki does, you know, the whole Rek'Sai flank from the left side, won't be as aggressively defended, and then suddenly you snowball and everything is great. Syndra's a fine pick and you just carry the game, and that's kind of their mentality.
Yeah.
They just weren't thinking about all the variables, and as boring as it sounds, there's all these things that you have to keep in mind. There's so much setup required for you to actually be allowed to make an individual play. You need to tick all the boxes, like who's ganking me, who can teleport in, can I even make this play, is this considering the right objective? Then you can go for the 1v1 play.
But it was still the direct opposites from what we were expecting coming into the week, because it's like Team Forge looking like a team who are like top 2 at like a minimum, and then going up against literally the bottom of the table team, making 3 swaps. First game is just like, yep, pretty much to be expected. Second game actually losing it in a very short game. That was like less than half an hour. So
less than half an hour. It made my time here very efficient. I think we're at the very end here of
your journey,
of my journey in Challenger. So with that, I'm just gonna hand the reins over to Vidius Hopefully he can do a better job than I did. Thank you for having me. Hopefully you'll have me one more time in Pulse. Yeah. Have a good day.
See you later, Krepo. He's actually gone. Anyway, with that set complete, we're going to take a short break, or at least I am, before we get rid of Krepo and we bring on Vedia. So we'll be back in just a minute.